Welcome back to the channel, guys. Just leaving camp, the Toorale National Park, the start of the Darling River Run, just outside Burke. You would have hopefully seen episode 1 already. If not, go back and check that out. That's how I got here. Well, there we go. So yeah, we're on the road again. Haven't really got huge plans today. I've just got to make it halfway to Mutawintji National Park, where I'm heading in a couple of days' time. So I'm thinking somewhere near Wilcannia today. Wouldn't mind stopping in a Tilpa and maybe have a meal at the pub, and then just see what we can see along the way. If I find any awesome spots to camp just along the river on the way, then I'll probably just pull in and camp. But anyway, let's get on with it. Yeah, so that was the Darling River Road circuit, as I said earlier. The second half was awesome. First half was a bit uninspiring. I don't think it's a one-way track, but they encourage you to go in clockwise direction on the signs. So yeah, I left the campground and went on the last half of it. Obviously heaps of bush chalks, heaps of kangaroos, like heaps. I reckon there have been 500 to 1,000 roos jumping around. And then those family had pigs at the end there, unfortunately. And a pelican, which I didn't know they'd be out here, sitting on the billabong, which was cool. Anyway, so we're on the road now. We head southwest, follow the river down, get back out of the National Park Road, pop out of the National Park soon, I'd say, and then we'll head off to Louth first. Might get some fuel there and on the road to Tilpa. If there's anything to see on the road, I'll catch you then, but otherwise might see you in Tilpa. So I just left Louth, got some fuel, $2.90 a litre, stung a bit, but you get that in the outback. I'm going to stick on the west side of the track. I just bumped into Kate. G'day, Kate. She was in Louth, and she'd come on the other side, on the eastern side, and said it was a bit sticky in spots, a bit wet, a bit boggy. Had to really concentrate. So I thought I'd give this side a crack. Some nice red dirt here. Throwing up some dust behind. The dust in the caravan's actually not been that bad. A little bit got into the kitchen just then on that leg. Haven't seen any inside where the bed and everything is at all. The only worry I do have is a bit getting into the storage area where I've got all the 12-volt panel mounted. Just be sucking up from the through the mudguards, I reckon. The mudguards join onto the chassis there, and I corked that edge, but maybe it needs a bit more, so I'll chuck some more in just to seal that up a bit better. All the penetrations in that area, the hoses and fuel points and everything to go down to the tanks, I corked all those before I left on this trip. They were fairly open, so I'd hoped it'd solved the problem, but yeah, there's a bit of dust in there. I'm going to have to get the vacuum onto it, I think, and suck it all out. I'm sure the 12-volt gear's not going to love that too much. Anyway, on to Tilpa for a meal at the pub. Check in later. Oh, geez, I nearly got stuck again. It's some spots here are just those bull dust, just traction control's going off its head, and I had to flick it into full drive. It was slowing right down, losing revs, and yeah, we got out of it, but pretty close there for a second. And now there's these washouts, unsignposted. There's nothing to let you know that they're coming up. They just appear, the road changes colour, and they're pretty rough. One of them was a big jump up about, I don't know, it felt like a 300-400 jump up before, and oh my god, I looked in the rear vision mirror, it felt like the trailer lifted off the ground. It was bouncing along like crazy. So yeah, really got to concentrate on this bit. It's been pretty hectic. I've got 17 k's to go to get to Tilpa. It's getting late actually, it's pretty slow driving, so I'm not going to get there until, I don't know, a bit after 2, starving, hungry. And then yeah, I'll see what happens after that. It might be a bit of a stretch to try and get over to past Wilcannia, which is what I was hoping to do. That's another 100 and something k's. So, you know, it's a good few hours of driving probably, but if the road's like this. Now we'll see how we go and check in when I get to the pub again. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Do you have a pen?
There's one.
Thank you. Oh, that was a Tilpa pub. I missed the lunch service by 10 minutes, would you believe? The chef had gone home, so didn't get to eat. So I'm on the chips and mandarin. But I did get to have a beer, and I did get to donate to the Royal Flying Doctors, and I did get to write for Petrol Transit on the wall, so mission accomplished in that sense. I'm heading to the Coach and Horses campground, which is just before you get to Wilcannia. I'm on the east side of the river again. I don't think this road's quite as bad as the last section, which is good. It's saying about an hour on Google, so probably about an hour and a half, I'd say, to get there. It's 2:30 in the arvo now, so I should be rolling in about 4 o'clock. I'll make a decision at that point whether I keep going. There's actually a campground I wanted to go to on the other side of Wilcannia, but I'll be getting into kangaroo hour at that point, and I'm with no bull bar. Don't want to push my luck. Dial in soon. I made it to the Coach and Horses, and I'm absolutely shagged, so I'm definitely going to stay here. We'll probably have an early night. I've got leftover stew from the camp cook, so that's going in the microwave. Pretty straightforward. And then yeah, lights out, and we'll get up bright and early and head over to the Gorge, which I can't pronounce the name of and get wrong every time I say it, but we'll get there. Bloody Carb Central. Look at them all wallowing. That's an absolute travesty. Look at them all. It's out of control. Up bright and early this morning and out of the campground and into Wilcannia. Just got some supplies at the local grocery store and back on the road again on the blacktop. First time in a few days. Heading to Mutawintji Gorge. I think this is the road to Broken Hill. About 100 k's up here I turn off. Probably hit dirt at that point. The last 70 or so k's into the campground. Yeah, so a couple of days there, do a bit of trekking, which would be good. and then White Cliffs, and then back to the Darling River Run in a few days' time. Stay tuned. Oh, it was a pretty boring drive, but we're on the dirt again and heading into the gorge. It's about 70 k's of dirt, I'm pretty sure, so this will take a bit of time as well. Just rounded the corner and yeah, some pretty amazing wedgies sitting on a dead roo. 3 or 4 big ones, and they weren't in a big hurry to get out of the way either. They just jumped in the tree next door and let me take a couple of photos, which was nice. Hopefully I've got the GoPro footage. I'll chuck it up if I have. Yeah, anyway, I'll check in when we get to the campground. Just arrived at the camp. Good little camps. Flat ground, bit of shade, good fire pit, brand new table, bit of space. There was quite a few out here though, probably a dozen more campers. Passed a few on the way out and the way in. I grabbed some wood outside the park as well because you can't collect it in here. I need to cook over the fire tonight. Yeah, that was a nice drive in. That track's been graded, it's in really good nick, so that was bit of a pleasure. A few gates to open. That was a good drive. It's about midday, so I reckon I'll get some food in and a drink and figure out what's next. Decided to rip the van off. I'm on the way to the start of the Mutawintji Gorge walk, which is 3 hours apparently. It's about 1 o'clock, so good timing. It's a moderate grade from what I've heard, so just driving to the starting point of that, and then we'll kick that off. And then there's a bigger one I want to do tomorrow. You walk up and along the ridge and back down and around in a loop. I think that's 5 or 6 hours, so I'll do that tomorrow in the morning. Anyway, we're just coming up to the start of the walk. I'll switch off and you'll see me on the path somewhere soon. It looks like that's the end. Can hear goats in the gorge further on, but it's a bit sketchy. I don't really want to fall in. There's a dead goat in there. It'd be fun in there with that. I don't know what these guys are planning to do. There's 2 of them up there on the ledge. Doesn't really look like there's much room to get out of there. Pretty cool walk. Done about 3 hours. I reckon that took about 40 minutes, but anyway. Caters for all fitnesses. Alrighty, it's dinner time. I was going to do steak frit, steak and fries, but unfortunately I pulled the steak out and she's bright green and stinking. It's not out of use by until tomorrow, but it has travelled all the way from home, so anyway, we'll give that a miss. Luckily I bought some pork in spare ribs, Tennessee barbecue spare ribs in Burke the other day, so I'll use those instead. So we're going to have pork and chips. This is so I'm going to do this Harry Fisher fighter fork thing that I saw him do, where he puts cold oil. I'm going to use this rice bran oil in the camp oven, chucks the chips in cold, and then just heats it from cold until it's frying and sizzling, deep frying, and then you get crunchy crisp chips. That's the plan. Anyway, I've never done it before, but yeah, see how this goes. Literally only took about 3 minutes to start frying, which is good. Spot on. Voila. Pretty good. So next morning we're off again. I had a really good sleep last night, which is awesome. I think I was in bed by 8 o'clock and didn't wake up till 6. So that's good, refreshed. Not really sure what I'm going to do today. There's a couple of spots to see on the way on this track, or I can keep going and do a massive loop. But there's a couple of really interesting walks on the way. So when I finish those, I'll figure out whether I want to keep going or come back, I guess. Yeah, looks like it's going to be another cracking day. Sun shining, not a cloud up there, so see how it turns out. There are rock holes down there. Don't know how well that's showing up, but they're big deep pools of water. So this is the rock holes loop. I've just realised I've started climbing. I think I go up and I must come down the other side somewhere. Yeah, it's been a pretty pleasant walk. Those wedge-tailed eagles before were amazing. So happy to have seen them. There's 6 of them in the end. Yeah. All right, I'm about halfway along the gorge walk according to my Avenza map on my phone. There's no more signposts, that's for sure. Not many footprints either at this far up, but it's getting pretty mountain goaty territory to actually get through. And I'm assuming that the gorge scenery is pretty similar to what I've been looking at for the last couple of hours, so we might cut back now and do the ridgetop walk. Up at the juncture, the sign's just over there, but head up this hill. Love how the little pebbles all roll down to a point, collect, obviously get to a big enough scale that they then tumble and fall a bit further down, kicked off by goats, etc. Be careful with your footing though, they roll when you stand on them. Just at the back end of this walk now, just sat down for a bit of a drink and a break, but I reckon it's about 1 kilometre to go down the gorge here, and I'm out. The last, let's say, half, from when I popped down off that ridge line down into the gorge again, it's been pretty similar to the first half, so I haven't been really filming that much. Nothing's really changed. It's been an absolutely epic walk. I would highly recommend it if you're in the area to do this one. So this is the ridgeline walk. It's also got a gorge and the rock pool loop in it. If you do all of those together, you pretty much see all the sights, I think. The Mutawintji Gorge walk that I did yesterday was cool, but you could easily get as good a walk in doing just this one if you had time constraints, but yeah, do them all if you can. I'll call it a day on the episode there. There's been a lot of filming over the last couple of days, so I reckon I'm going to have hours of footage to try and edit down into a reasonable length, so you're not sitting here for 3 hours watching me. So yeah, we'll call it a day there. Thanks for dialing in again. Let me know what you liked and didn't like in the episode. If you like that 360 camera I've been using and the viewpoint it gives, let me know. Try not to overuse it. It is a bit of a weird angle, so a bit of a brain bender when you're watching it, but it's a different perspective to what a lot of people are doing, so I thought I'd chuck it in there. But if you're enjoying it, tell me why. What's down in the comments below. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Hit that like button too. The more likes I get, the more YouTube puts it in front of other people to watch, so the channel grows. Anyway, the next episode we'll be heading into White Cliffs and then finishing off the Darling River run, so make sure you join in for that one as well. Cheers.